Hello and welcome, lovelies, to day 6 of Magic and Miracles. So today I will be sharing my story. So I am Karinique, I am an English author and I live in France. So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes in case people can tune in. It always takes a few seconds. Okay. So I will share a bit from the bio from the book. I'll show you the cover again, that lovely mandala. The colours are just gorgeous. Okay, so I will share about the author. So Karin is a light worker, mystic, energy healer and empath. After profoundly transformational experience in 2010, she caught glimpses of her higher self and saw that it is possible to put a stop to all pain and suffering in the world. She opened up to infinite human potential, realized that magic is all around us, and committed to becoming a true vibrational catalyst in order to help raise the vibration of the planet and empower others on their ascension path. Karin now helps people to deeply connect with their higher self in order to create a life of unconditional love, flow, and inner peace. Okay, so hi Shika, thank you for joining. So grateful that you're here. If you could just let me know that you can hear me, that would be great. I've just shared my bio from the book. Okay. I hope you can hear me. Oh, it's evening, yes. Okay, so you can hear me okay, that's great. Okay, lovely to have you here, thank you. Okay, so I shall start with my story now. So the title is Twists and Turns May Make Me Learn, but Patience Never Fails Me. Okay. It has been a bumpy ride, to say the least, over these past few years. I had been meandering through life as if pre-programmed like a robot to be the perfect little child who never stepped out of line, then the perfect little wife and mother, tending to everyone's needs and doing her best not to tread on anyone's toes or hurt anyone's feelings. I was therefore taken aback and completely shaken up when a revolution started within our home in 2012. It was time for me to wake up, and wake up I did. The tumultuous ride probably started for me back in 2001, when I was pregnant with my second child. I loved being pregnant and felt so alive and excited about the birth of a baby boy. I had been gifted with a girl and now a boy and was feeling so grateful. This beautiful state of being stopped temporarily in May 2001. One evening after work, I had a hospital appointment for an amniocentesis, a screening process in which a needle is inserted into the womb to sample the fluid surrounding the fetus. I'd had gestational diabetes during my first pregnancy, so I thought this was just another one of the many routine checkups. The lady doctor we saw was the head of the department and was a very efficient, no-nonsense type of person. So we were called in on time for the exam. Different feelings had been bubbling away during the lead up to this moment of truth. I was immediately impressed by the size of the needle that was about to be poked inside me, but too excited to find out more about the new life that was forming inside me to let it torment me. Having been warned of the potential consequences even if the needle touched the wrong places, I just wanted it to be over as quickly as possible. All of these feelings faded away into insignificance, however, when the doctor bluntly announced that there was a problem with the baby's heart, and in all likelihood, more than one anomaly. I'm going to refer you to the #1 pediatric cardiologist in Paris, she continued curtly. My heart stopped. I broke out in a cold sweat and a multitude of questions sprang to mind. A deathly silence was present within me then. And then, lo and behold, there was a power outage and the screen went black. All the lights went out and everything became silent. I started to panic as there I was, stranded, lying with a great big needle stuck in my womb. All the surrounding noises had stopped. There were no more beeping machines in the background, and the absence of noise was deadly. As tears rolled down my cheeks, the doctor was no doubt explaining how she was not in a position to elaborate on the condition. I did my best to listen, but I was no longer there. My son had open heart surgery at birth. For the next few years, my focus and first concern was caretaking and nursing him back to health. Head down and get on with it could have easily been my motto. The years passed by with their ups and downs, joys and challenges, but I was living a lie. I was not happy and didn't even realize it. I was completely disconnected from my feelings. To the outside world, I must have seemed happy. I was married, had 2 lovely children, we went on holiday most years, and we were financially stable. However, I was nowhere in the picture, non-existent. I had put my life to one side and I had forgotten to dream. My marriage was gradually becoming less and less exciting. The feelings of dissatisfaction and boredom were creating a chronic sadness inside me. I don't even recall how I ended up on the floor one evening in the autumn of 2009. I just remember sitting on the cold tiles with my back against the sofa and my husband sitting close by. I'm not even sure what had brought me to the breaking point. The children were in bed, all was calm, yet I was feeling miserable. So miserable and disheartened that suicidal thoughts fleetingly crossed my mind. I desperately tried to tell my husband how I was feeling, but the words remained stuck in my throat. I was again so frustrated at not being able to express myself, and to top it all, there was absolutely no response from him to the few words that I managed to get out. All I could feel was a concrete wall of indifference. There was no love, not even a tiny inkling of emotion. I felt a pang in my heart and realized at that moment that I was on my own. A feeling of loneliness welled up inside me. I stared at the picture on the wall in front of me, a photo with a beautiful blue sky, clear blue water, sparkling white sand, and I just knew I had to find a way back to happiness, back to myself. And in that moment of darkness, I decided I was going to do whatever it took to get myself out of there. A couple of months later, my son was due for his first angiogram, an X-ray detailing the arteries of his heart. He was 8 years old, and I was worried about the psychological impact that a huge scar from the neck down after his open heart surgery could have. So I asked the head of department at the hospital for her advice. She thought it was a great question, but didn't know how to answer, so invited me to contact their team of psychologists. Reluctantly, we did just that, and how grateful I was that we did. The psychologist we were assigned turned out to be the most amazing person I have ever met. For the moment our first appointment was set down in the diary, I felt a deep connection to her. It was unlike anything I had ever experienced before. It was as if an immediate, intense bond had been established between us, and I felt as though we had found a safe place where I would finally be heard. I was completely dumbfounded, as before we even met, I felt energy swirling all around me, and I just knew that this was it. A change was happening, and our lives were about to be transformed. The magic had begun, and at last my prayers had been answered. Feelings of utter relief coupled with excitement came over me. I realized that she was definitely not your ordinary therapist, and wondered if she had a magic wand up her sleeve. I had been captivated and the weekly meeting with my son seemed to be more exciting for me than it was for him, even though I only saw the therapist for a few minutes after each session. In just these few minutes, it became clear that the work she was doing enabled thoughts, feelings, and emotions to emerge naturally. I felt alive, energized, euphoric, and excited about what these sessions were going to bring to the family. How I could be affected without even having to be there was beyond me at the time. My life started to revolve around these weekly appointments. I could feel the magic happening on a quantum level and became aware of the healing effect that words can have. This really was eye-opening, as my son was having the counselling and I was feeling immediate benefits in my body. I felt lighter, as what seemed like layers of suffering were lifting off, spiraling off into nowhere, as if all the energetic charge from the past was simply leaving my space. My heart was breaking open, a new light was coming in. My life was transforming at the same time as my son's was. Without a shadow of a doubt, I was being reconnected to higher states of consciousness. And I knew that what I was experiencing was precisely what I wanted to create in my own life, to bring transformation, magic, and healing to others through intention and presence. This revelation was so exciting that I woke up every day for the next few months feeling immense joy and gratitude. Ideas came to me and felt like streams of energy running through me. This is what life is all about, I thought, as all my senses were aroused and awakened. I was alert to everything that was going on within and around me, and I was not going to miss a thing. It was far too exciting. I spent a lot of time laughing as I was simply amazed at what was happening. I started dropping objects or tripping over things, basically having many experiences which pushed me into realizing they were the immediate boomerang effect of my self-sabotaging thoughts. This was such a game changer and was just the beginning. Synchronicities became an everyday experience, and repeated number patterns were showing up on clocks in perfect alignment with the positive thoughts and ideas that were coming to me. I just had to think of people and I would run into them on the street, or they happened to call me at that moment. I even felt at one with the weather. The sun magically started to shine whenever I was thinking about someone and feeling love for them. It would also start to rain in perfect alignment with thoughts that I wanted to wash away. I had no idea at the time that my vibrational frequency had increased, and I had stepped into a new dimension. I was just reveling in the feeling of being at one with the universe and connected to something far greater than me. I was in a permanent elated state for months. The relationship with my husband improved, harmony came back into the family, and it seemed as if we were all in the flow of life. I felt such gratitude to have been able to lift the veil of darkness, and I felt unstoppable. I was on a quest, and I was desperate to share it with the world, as I so wanted everyone to experience these intense feelings and daily miraculous occurrences. It was truly life-changing to realize that I was attracting different circumstances into my life through thinking and feeling differently. In 2010, we decided to go on holiday to Scotland and had planned to stay a couple of days at my parents' house in the north of England to break up the long car ride from Paris. We arrived late one Saturday evening in August, feeling happy and relaxed as we had had a smooth journey and we were all enjoying each other's company. To my astonishment, the children suddenly appeared, ready for bed, and what's more surprising, eager to go. I was no longer there though, as I had become an observer in the room. I had come out of my body and was in a timeless, limitless space of expansiveness. Participating in the fun, joy, and laughter of a family gathering that exceeded any level of happiness that we had previously experienced did, however, surprise me, as I recall pinching myself at one point to check if this was real. I was definitely there. This sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, it was, and lasted for 36 hours. My logical brain had been put on hold, and I had been taken over by a feeling of pure love, joy, expansion, and compassion. I had awakened to something greater. Monday morning came, and we set off for Scotland on a beautiful summer's day. The sun was shining, and I was basking in the beauty of everything that surrounded me. All of a sudden, I was struck by an intense feeling of fear. At that moment, I came with a thud back into my body. It was as if my consciousness had returned into my body as soon as fear had set in. In 2012, I really didn't understand what was going on as things started going pear-shaped. There was absolutely no way of going back to the old way of thinking and being once I'd had such an experience. I felt on top of the world and thought it was possible to overcome any challenge. Thank goodness I had learned what inner peace, unconditional love, and universal flow truly felt like, as it was if this had been preparing me for what was to come. At the end of 2013, and in the midst of a traumatic divorce, I was magnetized through the internet to a beautiful energy healing modality called quantum touch, a practice which activates the body's subtle energies to remove blocks and stimulate its inherent ability to heal itself. I could feel energy flowing through me again, immediately signed up for the online course, and loved it so much I attended the first live workshop shortly after. The Monday morning following the workshop, I excitedly decided to practice one of the techniques I had just learned, and sitting comfortably at home, closed my eyes and began to run energy. When I opened my eyes, I was astounded. My hands had disappeared. All I could see was energy and a soft purple colour in places. I shook my head, disbelieving what I saw, turned my head away and looked back. Still no hands. My feelings of awe and wonder came to a stop when fear set in and my hands magically rematerialized. I then realized that my own fears had jolted me out of this experience, recalling my out-of-body experience in 2010 and how fear had brought me back into my body back then. Another miraculous, spontaneous experience was soon to follow. I had attended a workshop on youthing and learning ways to regenerate our body's cells. Without doing anything consciously, however, I suddenly found myself one day in a younger body. I had no blemishes or wrinkles on my skin. The few white hairs I had disappeared. It was as if I had regenerated myself. I was so amazed, I frantically kept going back to the mirror to check if it was real. As soon as fear and doubt set in, however, I was brought back to my former self, the more familiar way of being. I yearned to share these amazing discoveries of human potential with others. It was yet more proof that we are so much more than a physical body and have unlimited power. This now fuels my mission today to help others achieve just the same or better. Just imagine how the world would be if we all had young, vibrant, healthy bodies. My journey these past few years has taught me a lot about the deeper truths of what we are actually living and how all our experiences are calling us to something greater and more in alignment with our true essence. The fact that I have experienced the divine picking me up through challenging moments, I have learned to trust in the end result and always believe in myself. Everything being a side effect of the connection with myself. I feel so grateful that my path is often embellished with spontaneous, magical healing experiences. Interestingly, in French, the word magic, la magie, is the phonetic equivalent of l'âme agit, so it's just the same word cut up differently, loosely translated as the soul is speaking. Now that I know that everything in the universe is perfectly orchestrated and that everything in my life is a gift, I am able to unwrap presents every day. And that is what I want for you, so that you can discover your own true self. May you all be blessed with inner peace and find your own magic wand, as your wish is your command. Okay, so thank you for joining. Thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Lisa. Lovely to see you. So grateful to have you join. So if you have any questions, I will look through the comments. I used to help with those procedures as a lay. Oh, right, interesting. So you know the shock and horror of your patients then. This is an interesting story. Thank you. Very nice explanation of how to come out of anxiety. Okay, thank you. Wow, what a wonderful connection with the psychologist. Amazing. Yes, I mean it was just. You know, you don't have to be connected to people physically to feel them, and it now happens to me with people on the other side of the world. You can just feel them. So, she can't heal through meditation or miracle. Very nice explanation. Yes, yes. So I mean, I practice quantum touch, and the founder of quantum touch, he invented a word to explain miracles. He says they are a normical, so it's a normal, it's something normal. This normical, they're just normal occurrences in the life. It's just we need to change our perception of what's going on in life. So, okay, so if there are no questions, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all. My contact details, well, are in the this Facebook group which you're in, but I will post them for those who aren't here yet. I have a website, theascensionpath.com, but that's under maintenance at the moment, and I will post my Instagram link as well. So my invitation to you, dear viewers, is if you want to tap into your inner magic and get in touch with a divine connection, or see how we can look into that more deeply, is book a magic and miracles discovery session, and I would be delighted to help you tap into your inner magic. So tomorrow I will be posting the video. It won't be live. It's with a lovely Danish author, and so I will post that around 4 p.m. CET, Central European Time, which is 3 p.m. UK time. That will be 7:30 IST, Shika, I think. And well, a similar time, but it's the same time as today. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in, for watching, and I wish you all a magical, miraculous day. Thank you all. Much love to you all.